Hello everyone. In this video, I will be talking about my process of producing these videos. This is also the conclusion of my capstone project. During this project, I experienced lots of ups and downs which have guided me to my current project. Let's get started with the research in my project. At first, I wanted to learn more about particles and waves. Although I did not know it at the time, quantum physics describes the movement of particles and waves. So my project's focus changed from teaching people grades 4 through 8 about particles and waves to teaching them about quantum physics. Quantum physics seemed confusing to me at first. It took me a long time to learn the basics of quantum physics. I mostly found myself watching videos. In these videos, educators used analogies to explain these confusing topics. Eventually, after I gained a basic understanding of quantum mechanics, I found it much easier to read the long and detailed articles about quantum physics. I think knowing the basics of quantum physics is very important before going into the math. The basics are relatively easy to understand, and I believe it kind of makes sense. Of course, the more advanced quantum physics gets, the more confusing it becomes, but with math and experiments we can see how quantum objects work. After an incredibly long research period, I began to start the teaching aspect of my project. My first thought was how I was going to make the animations for the videos. For the 3D animations, which I wished to do, I chose Blender. Blender is an open source application for 3D, 2D, and normal video animation. I was only going to use the 3D animating aspect of Blender and use something else for video editing. Next, I had to find a way to display my information. I chose to use PowerPoint because I would be able to easily and effectively create the graphics for my videos. I had some problems with recording the PowerPoint, but I eventually solved them. I recorded my voiceovers using Audacity. Audacity was also an open source program. It was extremely easy to use and it fitted perfectly with my criteria. I will probably also use Audacity for any future projects. I also needed a way to put these parts together. For this, I used OpenShot Video Editor. OpenShot was much easier to use than Blender's interface. The buttons made sense and editing was much easier. After finding out how I would make the videos, I started to make the first video. This video took the longest amount of time since I was getting used to the technologies. For me, the hardest part of making the videos was making the script. The writing took a long time, but for the first video, the editing took a long time as well. At first, I used a lot more Google Images and self-created scenes. I think my videos gained more and more quality the deeper I got into the series. Creating analogies for the videos was also very difficult. This was the most difficult part of creating the scripts. Most of my analogies were not scientifically correct. I sacrificed accuracy for understanding. My description of the wave function was also not very accurate. I used the wave function more like a probability distribution wave than anything else. Some of my analogies were wrong, but I think I got my main point across. Blender was hard to use at first, but after I got used to it, it became extremely easy to use. I created the 3D models and then animated them as well. I think animations helped me understand quantum physics more. This is why I wanted to create the Blender animations to go along with my presentation. Blender is an extremely powerful tool which I think I'm going to use next time as well. Creating the videos then became a systematic task. The first day I would record the audio, the next day I would create the slideshow, and then I would create the video. This cycle continued for a few days until I was done with the series. In conclusion, this project was interesting and fun to do. I tried to teach people to the best of my ability, but it isn't the best quantum physics video series. And in short, quantum physics is a very confusing topic that can be understood very easily with the right explanation. I believe that you do not need math to understand how particles and waves move. This topic can be understood easily with the correct teaching. Although I might not have been the best teacher, it is possible to explain quantum physics without using math. Thank you for staying to watch this whole series. Your feedback propelled my project to a whole new level. Thank you.